Happy Thursday! Yay! So today I'm going to be talking about time management, and I'm going to be honest, as soon as I was thinking about this subject, I was like, I'm like the worst at this. Oh my gosh, this is what I'm going to talk about. And then I had to step back and think, you know what? I'm not bad at this. I'm really good at it. I just am afraid to tell people about how hard I work. And so honestly, I just want to show up and I want to be real with you guys and honest with you and just to give you kind of a glimpse into my life and time management and what it looks like for me. I mean, it evolves and changes as you go as a coach because the tasks you do, the basics are still always the same, but you're adding more, taking things away from your plate. So it's always changing. So, your time management right now might not look like mine, but, it will in the future. It changes. So let me tell you about my story. When I first started as a coach, I worked a 40-hour or more work week, at a job. I had a desk job at a cubicle doing titles and stuff for mobile homes, and I worked at a medical office. I did a lot of different jobs, but they were all full-time. Hi, if you're hopping on live, say hi so I can see you. Make sure this is working. Hi, Jen. That showed me. Okay, Facebook is working. Facebook updates, so it's like, what's going on? But when I first started as a coach, I had a 40-hour work week, and this job, coaching, was important to me, and I wanted to make it my full-time, so I took on coaching as a second full-time job, okay? So let me explain that to you. Like, I was already working 40 hours work week. Hi, Jen. But I was also working my coaching as an additional full-time job. And if that sounds like crazy to you, which I'm sure it doesn't to most of you, because I'm sure most of you are here to be your own boss and have freedom of time and just do whatever you want with your life because you deserve it. So you're probably like, yeah, duh, I expected that, right? So I had to sacrifice I wrote myself notes because I'm a squirrel, but I had to sacrifice things in my life. I canceled my Netflix account. Oh, sad, right? No. I canceled my Hulu. I canceled things that were not business building for me because the first year and a half of my business, I was hardcore, like, this is all I'm doing because I wanted to achieve success faster. So let me just reiterate that. Your time management and how much you put into this business is how much you're going to get back, okay? So I gave this business my everything. Every waking moment that I didn't have, like, a family, commitment or commitment to my husband, I gave it to this business, to building this business, to talking to people, to expanding my network, to sharing my story, to bettering myself through working out and personal growth and just showing up and being present on the team, being present in calls, exposing myself to all the trainings, being a sponge, soaking it up, because this was so important to me and I wanted to achieve success fast, right? Because I did not like my other situation. I did not like the jobs I was in. I did not like the living situation that I was in. So if you are similar to me and you want to change your life and you're impatient also, like, you're going to put a lot into this because you're going to get a lot back. Hi, Melissa. So you're going to have to prioritize, what is more important to you, watching Netflix or, changing your life. And let me tell you, like, I work hard still, you guys, but I sacrificed way more in the first year and a half of my business than I have to now. So the harder you work up front, the harder and the more consistent and the more you show up and the more you just freaking put your nose down and do the work, do the shit, the faster you will achieve your goal, right? Like, don't look and see what anyone else is doing or where they are because we're not them, right? We can't compare ourselves to other people. We just have to put our nose down and better ourselves and literally scream it from the mountaintops, the rooftops, scream it, right? Because, like, that's what this job is. It's about bettering ourselves and then helping people do this. I talk with my hands a lot. So, I noticed myself doing it. It's like gang signs over here. So I stopped Facebook scrolling. When I became a new coach, my coach was like, all right, Facebook is a place where you come to build a business. This is not a place where you come to screw off and, sit there and do this. Like, we all know what this is. Like, you're scrolling. And I had to make myself notes because that was a really bad habit that I had created. I had created this habit to pop on social media all hours of the day to just, like, sit there and see what everyone else was doing. And that wasn't business building to me anymore. That was wasting time. And it's still wasting time, even if you're not, building a business. But now it's more important, right? Because we need that time to focus our energy into doing something that's going to change our lives, not just, waste a couple minutes on our lunch break or whatever when we're in bed trying to go to sleep. So I wrote a note and I put it on my computer that says no more Facebook scrolling. I turned off the newsfeed with Google Chrome. There's an extension that turns off the Facebook newsfeed, so I wasn't tempted to scroll. Now when I scroll, it's intentional and I'm on my phone scrolling because I'm looking to comment and engage on people's stuff. What is the method to get rid of your ability to stop scrolling on the computer? I have Google Chrome and there's an extension called Kill the Newsfeed. I kill the newsfeed. So if I'm on Facebook, on my computer, that is my dedicated work time that I go and I add people, I start new conversations, I compliment and comment other people's stuff. You know, it's my focus time so I don't get sucked into it because I'm human and it's normal and we see a shiny object or a pretty picture and we're like, squirrel, right? And then we're gone and then we've clicked on this to that to this to that and they're like, oh my God, an hour has passed and I was working, right? Because I've been there where I've told my husband, I'm working, and I was just like on Facebook scrolling, you know what I mean? And like, that's not working, that's wasting time, and just liking things and, you know, whatever, that's not, that's wasting time. You know, you're not being productive with business building activities. Think about that. Like, am I doing a business building activity? I asked myself this constantly, you guys. Every time I had my phone in front of my face, I was like, is this business building? And if this conversation or this whatever I was looking at wasn't, or it wasn't helping me grow or better or anything like that, I was like, okay, I shouldn't be doing this right now, right? Because we have to focus. And it takes time and it takes practice. Like, you're not gonna be perfect at first. Like, we're human, right? And I still am even still reminding myself, like, we're rewiring our brains to think and work differently, and that's a big deal. So congratulations for starting that process. It does take time, but you're on the right track, so don't give up. Okay, so I call, you know, my coach in the beginning told me set business hours. And I think that's really important, but I also think that your business hours depend again upon your goals. And for me, I wanted to achieve success fast. I wanted to make coaching full time. So I worked all the time, right? I really didn't have business hours, and I'm not gonna like BS you and try to tell you that I did, because I was really bad about it. And when I say I was really bad about it, was that I freaking loved Beachbody so much, I would be doing it 24/7. I would say, I can't stop beachbodying. That was literally, it was a verb. It was an action. That's what I was doing. So, the biggest mistake I made was not explaining to my husband what I was doing, how it was benefiting us in our life long term, and why I was doing it. So, if you're like me, and you want to build this and you want to go and you have the time to do it, I'm going to talk about the opposite as well, but you have to communicate. I mean, regardless, right? Regardless when we're doing this, we have to communicate with our significant other, our family, our kids, whatever, whomever is with us, what we're doing. So like Colleen had mentioned before, if you're gonna, you know, work and do your office hours or your business hours from your phone, you go in a different room. Because if I was sitting on the couch next to my husband, or, you know, whenever we had our time together, and I'd be on my phone, you know, I was working, he thought I was just playing on Facebook because I never communicated to him what I was doing. And so, like, I want to say it was almost a year into my business before I realized how stupid I had been to not involve him, right? Because I was building this business for us in our life, but I felt like he didn't deserve to know why. I just like wrote it off, like, I don't want to explain it to you, you don't get it, leave me alone, right? But it caused a lot of problems and a lot of fights between us. And I see people say all the time, like, oh, this business, you know, my husband and it's causing, I'm like, no, like, this business doesn't cause jack shit except for you to be freaking awesome. The problem is communication. Like, are you telling them what you're doing? Because I've been there. I can say that not because I'm an asshole, but because I've been there. Are you explaining to them, I'm building my business, you know, honey, I am not playing on Facebook, you know, about other people's lives because they're more important to me. I am helping people start their journey. Oh my gosh, look, this girl reached out to me because she saw my post the other day and she was inspired. Look at this. Like, isn't that so sweet? And just involving them and letting them know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Obviously, if you have dedicated husband and wife time, mom and kid time, whatever, family time, that's your time with your family. So, you know, put your phone away, right? And just turn all the notifications off. Put it away. Mine are off all the time anyways, because I go in and do my work when I do my work. My phone doesn't bing, 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 and I'm like on it, you know, like no notifications. That will save your life and your relationships. Turn them off. Gross. Like, you don't want to be that person that is trying to talk to your husband, your phone's in the background going bing, 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 and you're not listening to what he says at all because you can hear your phone and it's distracting you. Like, no, right? So, Communication is key. Explain to them. If they don't get it, try to explain to them in different ways. You know, if you need help, reach out to your coach and be like, hey, my husband is like mad I'm doing this all the time. Like, what can I do? Like, we'll find different ways to explain and communicate. Like, maybe they don't see the vision. For me in the beginning, my husband didn't see this vision of this business, you guys. He thought it was a scam. He thought it was BS. He just wasn't for it at all, and I did it anyways because I felt so strongly about this and about coaching being a vehicle, Beachbody being a vehicle that I could take from point A to point B to keep going to change my entire life. And I had to hold that vision for us, okay? Like, for the first year and a half, he was not supportive. He wasn't mean to me, but he wasn't for it. He was mad every time I was on my phone, and I'm sure if I would have communicated and explained to him that I wanted us to have a freedom and I wanted to live together and I just all these things I wanted to achieve, he would have started to understand more instead of me just shutting him out. But that's enough about me. So your time spent on this business is going to be based upon your goals, okay? Like, if you have really big goals, like, I'm not going to tell you, you can only spend an hour and you'll be good. Like, no, because I didn't. This was like a full-time job for me until it replaced my other full-time job. I always told people, I have 2 full-time jobs. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but I have 2 full-time jobs. One of them's getting me to life freedom, and it's going to take over this one, but, like, I'm doing them both right now. And there's no real balance. Like, don't think you have to have the perfect schedule every day. Like, we have a core list of actions that we do every single day that build our business, which are around the 4 vital behaviors, you know, which are like doing our fitness, being a product of the product, you know, doing, following the eating plan, showing up in our groups, being there. There's like vital behaviors, working out, doing our personal development, repeating myself. But those are like our core actions that we do every day anyways. I don't count my workout and my PD in like my time if I am doing a focused, you know, business, whatever, because that's just something that betters me anyways, and I should be doing it regardless if I should be building this business or not. Like, yes, it's my job, but, you know, I don't account for that. Like, that needs to be done no matter what. So if you only have, say you only have an hour some days, like, which I still think is absolute BS, and I'm a total dick for saying that, okay? But, like, that's me. At least you know me now, Haley says, right? If you only have a set amount of time to do your business, you need to get really focused on what you're doing. So you need to reach out to your coach and say, what exactly are the actions I need to be taking in this hour to build my business as fast as possible? It's not Facebook scrolling, let me tell you that. It's not going around liking shit. You're going to be wanting to create conversations. You're going to be wanting to make sure your Facebook posts are on point and you are inviting in every single one of them. If you have a limited amount of time to work this business, I mean, your Facebook post should be on point anyways, but let me just say how important it is, if your time is limited, to make sure that you're getting your message out there with intention and, you know, you're inviting in every single post. I invite in almost every single Facebook post that I do because I want my social media to do a lot of the work for me. And if I just keep pushing it out there and pushing it out there and pushing it out there, you create that momentum in your business and you can get on that momentum, and it's good. Like, don't stop though, because the moment you stop, you have to restart, and it's hard, you know, like the plane leaving the runway. You know, it takes a lot of freaking F word, takes a lot of energy to get the plane up, but once it's up, it's up. But if you start to decline, and it's gonna take a shit ton more energy to get that plane, like, don't stop, right? So once you get that momentum, go, but you have to be consistent. And now I'm going off on a whole different rampage because I had pre-workout. So yeah, if you only have a set amount of time to do this business, you need to get a list of the exact focused things that you need to do to build this business. Business building activities, okay? That's not Netflix, that's not Hulu. And if you don't think you have the time, like, obviously you wouldn't be here, so I'm not even gonna address that, because like you're all like badasses that want to make this like for real. Like, you wouldn't be here if you don't think you had the time. Like, and that's just an excuse anyways, like, pfft, right? We don't use that excuse. We never find time, we make the time. Again, that's prioritizing. So I'm just checking. Oh, planner helps me so much. My planner, like, this is my like life, okay? And I don't know how anyone else does it, but planning things out, like, and I'm not saying like I have to stick to exactly the freaking order that this is, because like I said, every day is different, and this is your life and you're designing it exactly how you want it. So it's flexible, right? Because when I started this business, I was like, oh my God, everyone's doing it. Someone wakes up and they do this and this and this, and everything's like timed out. And there are people that function and they do time like, they time things and they do it and that's perfect and, you know, it works for them. For me, I have to write down exactly what I need to do every day, and then I need to fit it into my life where it fits. So, for instance, personal development, okay? I used to be, like, super busy when I had 2 full-time jobs, when I was working coaching in my other job. I'd listen to PD in the car. Anytime I was driving, I had personal development on, right? Because that's when I could get it in. I listened to it when I was in the shower, because why would I not, right? Just I had a little portable speaker and I turned it on Bluetooth to my phone, like in the shower, or played on the stereo. You know, like, you can fit things in. There are places. You just have to get creative. And if you want this bad enough, you will. You will, because we make room and we make time and we go balls to the wall for things that we want, right? So, what was I talking about? Yeah, so I wouldn't say that there's any perfect balance to time management. I just think that you need to make sure that you do the core business building activities every single day. And, you know, pat yourself on the back for getting those done. If you did more, write it down, because it feels good to be like, okay, I did a lot. When I first started my business, I had lists of things to do. Like, my to-do list for the business was so long, and I'd stress myself out because I could never do it. It was never achievable. My coach saw it one day and she was like, oh my God, like, that's your list? Are you serious? Like, no, like, do the basics, and then if you can do a couple more extra things, awesome, and be happy with that, you know, as long as you're doing the business building activities. And I was like, oh my God, like, you know, so keep that in mind. Planner helps. I'm choking. Planner helps. Planner saves lives. If it's not on my planner, it doesn't happen. Hence why this call or this live video is happening today, because I wrote it down for today and not yesterday. Life. Yeah, that's all I have on time management. If anyone has anything to add, if you have any questions, I'm more than willing to answer, elaborate, no BS you, because that's what I'm all about. My intention here today at first was to show up and be like, all right, so this is what we do in an hour. And then I just realized, I was like, no, I'm not here to bullshit. You guys, like, if your time spent on this business and your effort should correlate with your goal. So, because I'm assuming all of you are here to rock it, or else why else would you be in this training? You're going to make it work, right? And you're going to fit it in where you can, and you're going to start, you know, prioritizing life. Like, is me having life freedom and, you know, building the life I want, having more time with my kids, my husband, my family, adventuring, being outside, not being under fluorescent lights in a cubicle, more important than Netflix? Or should I just watch Netflix, right? Like, we have to think about those things. I did, and you will. And we sacrifice so much more in the beginning, because this business takes a lot of effort to get off the ground in the beginning. But once you get it off the ground, you're going. So relax and realize that, you know, you work really hard in the beginning and it's worth it, okay? It's worth it. 100 million freaking motherfucking %. Mwah.